You have arrived at an opportune time. It is Grand Mayor Yunin Godslayer's midlife crisis, for lack of better word. Welcome back, of course. Our character, as a reminder, as I do all the episodes, is a character apprenticed by a wizard who wanted to live up to his predecessors. That random backstory generated by the generator at the links in the description. Highly recommended if you want to play Crusader Kings II of your own volition and you're looking for some way to spice things up. Now, on the subject of spicing things up then, our guy Yunin Godslayer has, honestly, he's 38 and he's done everything there is to do in his life, with the exception of becoming a Hemoarch and getting revenge on France. Those are all that remain. But in terms of his backstory, I brought this up yesterday. His backstory again was that he was apprenticed by a wizard. There was some magical element by that. I think it's fairly safe to say at this point, with the 2 bloodlines, the 3 wonders, he has lived up to his ancestors' precedent. But I'm not sure about the magic side of things. He has, again, done the kind of alchemy magnum opus. Only did the Universal Panacea in the end. Magnum opus for the Hermetic Society. Went through the whole Hermetic Society. We didn't really see anything magic. We did get a magical event, which was not literally magical, but in this case metaphorically magical, because we had a CK2 event I have seen, I think, only once before, and that was to get the Emerald Tablet, which is an incredibly rare outcome from the Hermetic Society. It's incredibly rare for me because I'm generally a more conservative player who doesn't take the risky option, which is the top option, which is all we've been doing with this guy. So it was more likely that we would get this in any other playthrough that I would do. However, that's the only magic we really have with this guy. So at the end of yesterday's episode, I asked, what do you think? Dragonkin or Fellowship of Hell? And I basically said, whoever made the most convincing argument in the comments yesterday, I would follow that, and that is what we would do with this guy, because he has not seen any magic. He's uncovered the secrets and mysteries of the earth and heavens. He's written a book on how to, quote-unquote, live forever. Just gives him a little bit of health, ultimately. Didn't really see much magic. Whereas the Dragonkin and the Fellowship of Hell undisputably will give him magic. And it was almost overwhelmingly in favor of the Dragonkin, and I get it. You know, we've seen the Fellowship of Hell before. They're a little bit boring, but the arguments made in favor of the Dragonkin were what convinced me. First things first, somebody pointed out that the guy got the nickname after his raiding, his pillaging. He got the nickname of the Worm, which is essentially the Old English word for dragon, right? So that is absolutely, I mean, perfectly on brand. Not to mention that he is a descendant of the, and this is just something I'm adding in here, that he is a direct descendant now of 2 Chinese emperors, right? Those are, you know, the throne that the Chinese emperor sits on is called the Dragon Throne. I think the metaphors all kind of tying together here. Again, that kind of ties in nicely there as well. But another person made a very good argument that our guy is zealous. Just because he hasn't seen magic doesn't mean he would resort to heresy, you know? And sure, you can interpret it as zealous just means he's very into his religion. The thing about particularly kind of like Nordic and any sort of more pagan religions is that it's not the duality that, say, Christianity has, where God is good and the devil is bad, or etc., etc., as you would find in any of the kind of Abrahamic religions. But in this case, hell is just another god, you know? Giants' ruler of Helheim is just a backstory. We could have, I think, justified zealous being something that would allow him to follow that. He still believes they exist, ultimately. But I do agree that he's been following Odin his entire life. He's blind himself. He's been looking into Odin's eye. I don't think the heresy is the right way. All in all, the point I'm getting at is we're going to join the Dragonkin. Now, I have rebalanced the Dragonkin Society fairly significantly. Let's start our troops to enforce here while I explain what I've done. So, the Dragonkin Society, I looked into it because it's a fun idea for a society, it really is. A little bit of magic, but in a positive way to do it is quite nice, because there isn't really much of that. You could still argue it's heresy, but dragons are prevalent in Norse mythology. You have Jormungandr, and the Nidhogg. There's another one who nibbles on the roots of Yggdrasil, or whatever it is he'd be up to. I don't know what he's doing up there. But those are arguably, you know, dragons, worms, serpents, whatever you want to call them. So there is that kind of already going for it too. Man is a coward, that's for certain. He can't fight. Are we going to mock Gudruda's cowardice? Absolutely we are. I mean, we're wrathful, we're proud. I think we would not be a big fan of that. Helena is developing into an ambitious young woman. Fantastic news. So what I've done is I've rebalanced it because everybody and their mother were able to turn into dragons. The AI had a 100% chance to take the decision. Bad stars again, that's okay. We'll pay the gold to protect our realm. The AI had a 100% chance to take the decision to turn into a dragon. And Eskild has now become Han-Ors. As a result of that, they were always doing it. And the event chain, I always thought it would be something like, you know, becoming immortal, which is the Matters of Life and Death event. Goes on for a long, long time. You've got a very, very high chance to fail. You've got a very high chance the person guiding you to immortality is a mystic. That's base game. But the dragon, which I kind of interpreted would be a similar thing, but the dragon event is still far more powerful, even if you give it the same percentages and shit, because you can just choose to do it whenever. And the AI was not only doing it whenever, but it's 100% success rate. The second you've got the points, the society points, you take the decision, you just do it. You know, you just become a dragon. And the event chain is one event long. So I've rebalanced it significantly in a lot of different ways that I'll talk about should we get there. I won't bore you anymore. This has been quite a long intro, but obviously I've made a lot of changes in the background here, so some of it's worth mentioning. Now, my personal goal for this character, something that, independent of his backstory, has definitely cropped up now for sure, is vengeance on France. Because, actually, we could take all the boats. Why am I putting the boats down? The more boats we've got, the more prestige and gold we can get from a single raid. I was dropping it because, realistically, we don't need it. But then again, we've got enough gold that we haven't really got to sweat it either. It is 90 gold per month to keep 300, almost 400 boats raised here. Our retinue's reinforcing, we're building wonders, etc., etc. We've got to go get revenge on the French because twice now they have smashed our armies and we're a proud, wrathful men who don't need no man. Or more specifically, don't need no Frenchman, and we're going to go clap the King of France. Not literally clap the King of France, unless he's offering. We are, however, going to metaphorically clap him. I'm going to invite Mutik to join our court, and we're also going to take Urgenwalder so that we can have some good commanders. I would love some siege commanders. You know what? I said that last time, and someone made a very good point. We could go to China, and we can ask for siege engineers, which are a unique... So China has access to, I think it's like 4 or 5 different ways of... And I mean that literally, ways of kind of commander traits. So way of the dog, way of the tiger, way of the dragon, etc., etc. So these guys have way of the leopard that gives 50% siege speed by default. They're generally very good commanders too. And they also gain a bonus to combat in hills and combat forest. So it's far better than regular siege leader. And they're skilled. So, I mean, it's kind of a win-win all around. That guy's not so good. That guy's okay. That guy's at the best. Put them to use immediately. Let's reassign our commanders then, because some of the commanders we've got are... Oh, they've already been reassigned just like immediately there. That's good. Let's keep that guy on, because he's got 28 martial. Now, the question is, do we want Yuning to lead the armies himself? Because Yuning is 38, so he's still relatively young, or just turned 39, but he hasn't got... Well, he's got one son. Remember, the oldest son is illegitimate, and his youngest son... has essentially fetal alcohol syndrome, as depressing as that is. His mother is a drunkard, and we got the event that makes him slow because she was drinking during the pregnancy. Our guy is proud. He's a genius. He wrote his own cipher. He wrote a magnum opus. He would not be happy to have an idiot take over his life's work. So we've got to kind of ask ourselves, do we want our guy leading the army, which will in turn impact the chance of him having children? Or do we leave these guys in charge? And I think ultimately I'll leave these guys in charge of it. We've got a more balanced retinue now. We've got heavy cavalry, light cavalry, heavy infantry, archers, pikemen, you name it. We've got a counter to everything. Good commanders on top of that as well. I think France don't know what they're dealing with. So we're going to go clap the original place where our troops got destroyed by France. We're going to make it our life's work to do them in. As I think any righteous Englishman should. Let's go and do some damage here. Mother-in-law disappeared without a trace. How tragic. And let's clap some cheeks. And we're only doing this again because our guy's wrathful. He's proud. And twice in a row now, they've stopped his pilfering. Our guy has this legend to upkeep. Blood of a Tempest. He is one of the biggest raiders going here. We have the trait. We've got a title to uphold. And we're not going to let a bunch of French people take that away from us. Assault it. Burn it all down. Burn them all. Let's get in there. Okay, so we'll probably start... So France isn't literally France this time. It's actually France and Germany with kind of the middle bit cut out there. But they are very, very powerful. They've only got 9,000 troops, though, because they just came out of a pretty devastating war with Sweden. So that means that we can go... I think because of the amount of disease... Maybe we'll start over closer to Denmark, work our way through the kind of North Sea provinces here, and slowly work our way over to more core French lands. But we are going to rip this guy apart. We're going to teach him a lesson. That was just a try, but we do get some prisoners. One thing I do want to work in the background here, because it kind of ties into our wizardry, is, of course, the Hemoarch trait. To reiterate it for the 100th time. My daughter is ambitious. I wish we could make daughters, a part of our patricianage. Because ultimately, they're the best children we've got. And again, it's for game balance that you get designated heir when you're a patrician. So if you are able to designate daughters as well to kind of become your successor. Oh, brother Rigi Godslayer died in the dungeons of the King of France. We didn't like our brother. Repeatedly, the King of France asked us to ransom him out, and it got cheaper each time. He's like, 120 gold, you can have your brother back. We're like, nah. 50 gold, you can have your brother back. Nah. 10 gold, nah. It might have just been 10 gold every single time, but, you know, the point is, we weren't gonna bring him out. We weren't going to pay for that guy. Should we share the loot? We want the gold because we also want to build our final wonder with this guy too, some sort of wizard's tower. I'm trying what I can for it. Hemoarch gives us those divinations to reiterate, which again kind of ties to the wizardry backstory. I'm trying my hardest here, okay? I'm trying to tie everything. Is that the fucking plague? Oh, well, time to leave. We've concluded a thorough investigation into your ancestry and believe you may yet have traces of draconic heritage. As such, you're entitled to join the Dragonkin and learn more about your hidden power. Tell me about dragons. I love dragons. Right, so that's the other thing that happened, of course. Wowee, that spread fast. We got a notification yesterday that in China, more specifically over right on this part of the map, there was a breakout within the Protectorate General's realm of the Black Death, the first real major world epidemic, and that has swept through the trade routes. Specifically the Silk Road. Absolutely swept through there. Let's pull that back open a second. Right the way through to the Byzantine Empire. It's gone through the Byzantine Empire up through Venice, which is almost certainly where that spread there through to the rest of Europe, particularly because this province hasn't yet been hit by it in Croatia. So there's like a slight gap there. That must have been Venice that caused that for sure. And again, kind of Tunisia's been hit there through over to Morocco and Spain. So we've got to be very careful about where we raid. To be honest, of all the times to declare vengeance against France, this was probably a poor one. So I guess we'll go back to raiding the UK for a little while before that, well, not really the UK, but England at least. England, Wales, until they get clapped by the plague. It's either we take the gold or the plague will take the gold. And I know which I prefer. Why are we educating all these children? Fuck off. We're wrathful. We're proud. We're not going to educate these kids. What's our bloody court tutor doing? Whoa, look at his tattoos. Holy shit, that's cool. What a guy. Right, let's go back here. Court tutor. Hey, someone educate these kids. Right, we need someone who's like quick or shrewd. She's good. She's literally one of those, so that'll do. State Inquisitor. The guy with all the tattoos. Very imposing. I like it. We'll make you High Admiral. And then finally, everybody loves us. Look at this. I like it, and that's what I kind of liked about CK2. It's okay to be a mad, ruthless tyrant if it benefits your realm. That's okay. People are happy with it too. There is literally an event in game where if you're an arbitrary character, but you don't do anything wrong with that, you rule in an arbitrary way, you make the rules, but if your rules are beneficial for the people, you actually get bonuses for it. So it's quite nice. Right, we're going to beat this child. You know, as we do here. And let's get to work. We need prisoners then. If we could get Hemoarch today, because it looks as if we might not be able to get revenge on France. Hemoarch, a wonder, Dragonkin Society, that's all to play for. Hello. My first wife, Gorislava, has been growing weaker and weaker. It is consumption. Is it not the plague? I don't give a shit. Middle East ravaged by plague. An ominous shadow looms over the regions of the Middle East as the plague has left little but tragedy in its wake. The reports are scarce, but upon hearing the tale of lone refugees wandering the roads, often the sole survivor of a family, the hearts of many are torn as to why Odin would allow this to happen. When will it end? I don't think Odin really gives a shit, right? Bagita has consumption. We've got our own outbreak by the sounds of it in... Oh yeah, look. We must have accidentally brought that back in a raid. It was just a natural outbreak, most likely. The hospitals are good though, right? The hospitals are good, but they only prevent the spread. So if it breaks out in the capital, a hospital is only going to help so much. I think it lowers the length of that particular disease. And this is the medieval times. I mean, consumption is as likely to kill you as the Black Death is. Well, that's not... mathematically, that's not true. Both are still exceptionally dangerous and should be avoided. Let me put it that way. That's probably a bit more of a reasonable way to phrase it. Again, look at this. It's ripping through our court, regardless. Books for translation? I think I'm all right. Who are we going to marry? We're going to marry her. Why? Who's she? Okay, sure. Why was I marrying her? She's groomed? She's tiny? No, fuck off. Oh, I should have said no to that. Why would I have arranged a betrothal with someone tiny? That's potentially something that our children will inherit. Weird. Oh! The plague. They've detected it in Northern Wales. Well, let's get out. We tried. We weren't fast enough, but that is enough to build our wonder, though, right? Let's take a quick peek. I want to build, as a reminder, the Grand Library for our wizardry things. 5,200. Bollocks. We're miles off. We're not miles off. We're quite far away, though. So we're in the society, then. Is that it? Let's take a quick peek here. Yeah, we're in. Look at that. Dungeon Master. Don't you use that word. How dare you stand where he stood. So, this is, again, as you can see very quickly, the problem with the Dragonkin societies. The AI has a 100% chance to become a dragon. All they need is that the points, and I mean, that's it. They get it. They just, like, get it for free. More or less, there's no struggle. There's nothing they have to worry about. So, I've rebalanced that massively to make it not only that the AI are less likely to take it, their personality has an impact. So, if they're content, if they're a coward, they won't try and transform into a dragon, or are less likely to transform into a dragon. There's nothing that was really taking the actual AI themselves into account. So, I've redone that a fair amount. So dragons should be rarer now, which I think in turn makes it far more impressive. You know, quite literally everyone and our mother at one point were dragons. And I mean that, again, very literally. Our mother became a fucking dragon, which felt very unearned, in my opinion. Not saying that she wasn't a great character. One of our mothers was a great character, but... Ooh. The other day, skulking as I do, I caught Chiefess Yun of Chunyan of Faroe Islands, and my rival Escaled in Flagrante. Flagrante, indeed. They didn't notice me, but I'm still in shock. She's a married woman by Odin. Scandalous. They must be exposed. I mean, we're cruel, and this is our rival. Oust them. She's not married. She's betrothed, so she's just getting some in quick, you know. No. Must be exposed. Madam, I saw you in Grand Flagrante Delectio with this man. How dare you? My possessed wife, Hudan, has gout. Fucking hell, it's just gout and consumption all the way down. Oh, shit. I was going to see if we could snipe that one fast, but I hate to say it, squad. Our raiding days might be put to a sudden end. And look, the first province is still infected, so there's no chance of this disappearing anytime soon. Well, yep, that is not our business. I guess we'll flee back to Iceland where we'll be safe. He says, looking at the big old words consumption written across the island. Never mind. Right, flee back as fast as you can. Mobs of people are arriving in the Isle of Man. Most newly arrived, the commoners fleeing the plague that has reached Rabneve, I think, just beyond the borders of our realm. Some have lost their whole family. Some are trying to protect theirs, and fewer travelers or merchants that had an easier time moving. All of them seem to witness indescribable horror. Well, we can't read anymore because it's indescribable, of course. But yeah, we have the Isle of Man, of course. Very relevant. That will probably be kept by the plague. It's not really prosperous, but it does give minus 10% disease resistance. Rarely does the plague make it much more northerly than, you know, kind of the Scottish Highlands. You probably won't see it up towards Norway, especially. But we'll see, because, of course, they've been under the control of France for a long time, so that might have some impact. It's still early days yet. Still early days. Until it starts disappearing from the original province. It's been a long time. You start collecting taxes for me. I'm very hungry. You start studying technology in the plague-riddled Byzantium. Oh, God, look at it. Oh, the coughing and the screaming, the corpses on the fire. If places get severe depopulation, which, to be honest, might have happened up here. Not yet. Population level 3, level 2. None that I can see. Ah, there's one. The man of the hour. The Grim Reaper himself stands atop a pile of corpses getting their eyes pecked at by crows. So we'll see what happens here. And the effects of that, of course, your economy is devastated. Most of the courtiers, the characters, the rulers, the lords, etc. Where was that? That was here. Will die. Levy size minus 60%, castle tax. Load everything that you have to worry about. They get higher disease resistance just by virtue of there being less people to get ill, you know? What the fuck realm is this? What's going on here? Oh, Khazaria owns it. It's, Nenetsia. Right. Explains why there isn't a name over it. Will it come to Iceland? Possible if we're on a trade route, but I don't believe we are. We're not. It is not out of the realms of possibility, right? And the reason I say that is it could jump from Scotland to Orkney to Shetland to the Faroe Islands to Iceland. If there is all there has to be is basically like a seaboard, right, for it to transfer over. It's very possible it could get to us, particularly as we are... Oh! Secluding himself in Orkney. He's gone into lockdown because of the tuberculosis epidemic. Oh, my rival again in Flagrante Grande. Yep, expose them. They're exposing themselves at this point. Patrician Donnelly 10th Meridius has gained some learning. Great news. So we keep a close eye on this. What I was about to say is, oh my god. Shuzen Wachitsky is dead. Oh no. How sad. She's gone. Where was she married off to in the end? Oh, Carl Smith's daughter. Hang on. How's she doing? My niece. Jinshan Carl's daughter. She's coming out okay. Somebody said marry her off to your son. Now, ideally, let's wait until we get a son worth marrying her off to. I think we need to go family focus. We need to go seduction. We need a son. I mean, seduction in pure mechanical terms is, of course, better for getting babies. Family focus gives a little health, and given that we've got an epidemic, I mean, I would argue family focus makes more sense for the character, given that again, he wants to live up to his family. He's constantly talking about his family. Who's obsessed with them, arguably, and now, without a good son to take the reins, I think family focus has to be he's 41, for God's sake. Wow, look at your tattoos, too. Those are cool. You want to marry my daughter? You any good? Unfaster Finnmark. Oh, that's our mainland branch of the family. By all means. Okay, let's see if we can weather this storm a little bit. What I want to do is invest in our economy. Bear in mind, these give massive bonuses with regards to... Oh! These give massive bonuses with regards to... Oops, careful. Like build time. Shit like that. So, ideally, we want to use that when it's over. Otherwise, we're just kind of wasting it a little bit if the disease is rampant. And then after that, we can keep building up again. So that's something we've kind of ignored for a while. Get him dead. Don't get him dead. Can we start the blood games before we sacrifice all of them? Excellent. Very well. Let's see what the future has in store for me. This was a noble and prestigious man, so we're going to use magic to see what's in his entrails. Nice. Clarity of action. Give him morale, defense, damage against religious enemies, and martial +2. Very good. A little bit of a magical divination there in his entrails. Come on. Who do we want to fight in the blood games for us? We could put Posun Fangxi, our nephew, who sired a child with our wife, who did something. Again, we wanted to imprison him for that, but we wanted to keep it secret because we're a proud guy. But now we could use this as an excuse to kill him off. He will fight in the blood games. A legal way to potentially remove an obstacle. Let the blood start flowing. The crowd roars in approval as another warrior falls to the ground defeated. The weakest contenders have been quickly disposed of, leaving space for more inexperienced fighters and blessing the ground of the arena with their blood. Soon the remains will be burned to the honor of the gods. If he wins, though... Oh my god. He did win. He's been released from prison. As the dust settles, the crowd cheers dismay. This is like Gladiator. Oh my god. My name is Fangxi the Scarlet Eagle. Husband to a murdered wife, father of a, consumption-ridden child. The priest escort Fangxi up to the arena's main balcony in order to congratulate him for his victory. Through his actions, many souls have been delivered to the gods today, and by his victory, he has blessed the name of my dynasty. I knew it was the chosen one. We hate him. That's right, he was accused of apostasy. We are his rival. We hate him, but he doesn't give a shit about us. We are rivals, but he just still likes us. I guess he has a lot of respect for us because of what we've achieved. Bollocks. We still didn't get a Hemo art, which is interesting. How's the plague looking, then? This is going to slow things down significantly. Okay, it started to recede from the provinces it came from. So if we keep an eye... No! No, it's happening again. He's taking control. I mean, he's not a bad character. He's got 22 intrigue, but for a man who slighted us to name him our successor, I can't do it. It's not acceptable. Would we name Fredrip? I mean, Fredrip is the idiot boy. We couldn't do that. And Be Gone is Fangxi's son. Not our son, remember? This is horrible. Yuning, you were so concerned with whether or not you could, you didn't stop to think if you should, in brackets, do anything other than your wife. Fuck. Okay, the plague is starting to disappear. And when the plague disappears, our half-sister is a chiefess. Oh, good for her. When the plague disappears, we appear. It will never happen. We're not going after her. She's clapped so many cheeks. Not interested. Come on. Oh! Oh! Could say Fangji killed some random Italian man, but look at this. Your horse! I can't believe it's taken so long to get this. Your horse has always struck you as being a dependable sort. Quality you feel is sorely lacking in your councillors. Time to shake things up a bit. You will appoint him as your new Chancellor. Good to who I appoint the Chancellor of the Realm. Because we are a fucking lunatic. We're going to fire you, Jestarian. Apologies to, to the patron who just got sacked in favor of a fucking horse. Oh, Glitterhoof. What a fine mane you have. Order to take the vows. Glitterhoof becomes a nun. I think I'm alright. As much as I like that. Oh no. Although you can't put your although you can't quite put your finger on what's wrong, you don't feel right. Yeah, I wonder. Okay, alas. Patrician, Dunley, 10th Meridius is sure you're developing consumption. Dunley? I'm sure you may be right. We are a renowned physician after all. To reduce your malaise, we need to stop worrying and start delegating. How dare you? Is this a personal attack? As the day drags on, seemingly never ending, you can barely keep your eyes open. You seem to have no energy at all. Alas! That's a very understatement, isn't it? That's a massive understatement. Alas, I have consumption. Friendship with her? No, fuck her. We don't know who she is. My trusty and loyal steed, Glitterhoof, is likely to be the target of all manner of malicious attacks by my enemies to destabilize my rule. I could have my smiths forge her a set of armor to aid in protecting my most precious companion. Well, of course we will spend the 400 gold to give her gilded or ornate armor. Madam, please take my gilded mare armor. Mounted troops get some bonuses. Monthly prestige gets some bonuses. Martial, personal combat. You have to be a horse to be able to wear that. You're welcome, Glitterhoof. You're welcome. Hello. You want me to... Oh, is it an intrigue-based society, the Dragonkin Society? Well, that doesn't make sense. Diligent, greedy, intrigue. Oh, it is intrigue. How bizarre. I guess because it's secretive, because they are dragons. According to legend, dragons once roamed the earth long ago. They were terrible creatures bringing fire and ruin to all that opposed them. Such beasts no longer exist today. Who are you trying to convince with that shit? I'm not going to focus on intrigue. We need a son. You can piss off. Fuck your society. Oh my god. Would you look at the time? As I was lying in bed at night, I was woken by the hissing and growling of my favourite cat. The bedchamber was alive with scratching, scurrying noises coming from the very walls themselves. I sprang from the bed, but the noises suddenly disappeared, and the subsequent investigation of the chamber revealed nothing but patched stone walls. Could there be rats in the walls? Somewhere, a dreamer stirs. Destiny manifests itself once again. We have a fever, but since the incident some weeks ago, I felt uneasy. I took a walk along the coast to clear my mind and found a small village where the people claim to worship the Old Ones. Gods even older those of the Germanic faith. They invited me to join in their rituals and show me a dusty old grimoire written by a mad Saracen. In the strangest deja vu. Do you know the definition of insanity? Intense study... The music is so inappropriate for this, though. The intense study of the grimoire has gained me much knowledge. I've devised a ritual to awaken the most powerful of the Old Ones, where he sleeps, dead but dreaming, in his watery tomb beneath the ocean. The cult has prepared the ritual attire and is gathering the necessary sacrifice. Tonight, he will wake. Game 1 learning. We put on a black robe and a wizened old hat. The cult has gathered for the ritual on the shores of the black and stormy sea. The chanting begins. Pnglui mflangnufa. And in the depths of the dark waters, something stirs. He comes, and we die. No, he cannot come until we come. I have to stop this. Godslayer Yuning the Whim commandeers a longboat. I steer the longboat through the raging waters towards the monstrous creature. It stood as tall as a castle tower with the body of a man and the head of a man. It was a man. I knew I'd awoken it from where it slept beneath the waves, and it was here to end the age of man. There was only one thing I could do. Ramming speed. A fateful collision. I awoke in my own bed, weak and sweating. The servants told me they had found me on the shore, naked and half drowned. I asked them about the creature and the ship, but they looked at me with worried eyes and shook their heads. It seems I'm the only living witness to these events. I put them to print. Or, fools, I saved you all. Wrathful, proud, I could believe him going for the Godslayer. Or, I must put them to print. Gain 100 prestige and 1 learning. Well. What do you think? I think in this situation, the guy's a scholar. He's a writer. He's written a magnum opus. There is an argument for the print, but he's wrathful. He's zealous. He's a proud guy. He's already written his life's work. I think he would shout, "Fools, I've saved you all." I think he would honestly, genuinely believe he's killed Cthulhu. Or at least, once again, followed in the steps of all of his predecessors and put Cthulhu to sleep, as is the curse of the Godslayer dynasty. Their moral duty to this world. Beyond these borders, you can't see it. The devs had to put this in so you didn't go mad. Below this border here, Cthulhu himself. And we have to fight him off. He was always in the top left corner of the map. I saved you all. We gain the Godslayer. We gain a Godslayer modifier. Martial +3, intrigue +2, personal combat skill +13. That's not consumption. Oh, shit. We gain rabies. 65% chance of a normal illness, 20% chance of a mild illness, 10% chance of a severe illness, 5% chance of being bedridden. We lose for fever, fatigue, and malaise. I have some horrible news for you all. Rabies is a death sentence. And so ends the tale of Yuning the Worm. I'm sorry, but this is the end. It's -7 health. I mean, to put it into perspective, is it called the Black Death or is it just called the Plague? The Plague itself is -7 health. The Plague and the Black Death are the two most lethal diseases in Crusader Kings II. We're dead. Like, this is it. Well, that's not true. There is a very tiny, almost non-existent chance that we could survive. Do we have anything we can equip to give health bonuses? We have a Universal Panacea giving health +0.5. Is there anything else here? Have we got like a book on treatments? Anything that would keep us alive? No. Fish? No. Codex Godslayer? No. The horse armor? Irrelevant. Treatise on law? China do have books on medicine. Maybe I petition them rapidly for a gift. We send them a eunuch. Take this man. And I will trade that for a book. We can't. Send him a concubine. Sif. This bastard daughter. Take her. And give me an artifact. Please be a book on medicine. It's a bronze sculpture. It's not good enough. There is a possibility our court physician may be able to bring out a revolutionary new technique to save our life. And I actually timed that perfectly. That was AGDQ levels of good. AD, awesome games done quick. AGDQ levels of timing. We get the option for 2 treatments here. My life is in your hands. My life is in your hands. It is. It really is. My niece will be missed. My tribute is deemed decent. Okay. So, either we get a choice here. Because, and this is not meant to happen. I genuinely timed it perfectly. So perfect that the game, that was like the only moment that could have been possible. 10th Meridius will cure us either way. I almost cannot believe it. We can either gamble and take 3 health points off of rabies, basically making it -4. Which is definitely survivable when you consider the fact that we have the death paint, which might have worn off by now, to be fair. We have the Universal Panacea. We have the family focus. Or we trade our our dicker and balls for it. And a leg. Oh, no. Of course, the only treatment. This sucks. So, I thought that would be either we would get eunuch or severely injured. I hadn't quite yet taken into account the severity of these options. Our choices are we either take eunuch and we're cured, or we take eunuch and severely injured. Well, of course, we're not going to take this when we can just take eunuch. But I don't want to take eunuch at all. It would be fitting, and it's almost a cruel fate of irony, that we were focused on family focus. We would stop leading armies after all these years, and now the only way we could potentially survive rabies is if we chop off our dicker and balls. We've got cock rabies. That's what they're selling us. We've got cock rabies. We have to take this one, which gives us that +3 health. Oh, shit. Is it a mild illness or something like that? Oh, Jesus, this sucks. If anything else giving us a health bonus. We've got the bath health, so that gives us 0.25. That's on 4. 0.25 takes down to 3.75. The Panacea takes down to 3.25. The Family Focus takes it down to 2.75? No, 2.25. We have nothing else. That is it. That's all she wrote. 2.25. Do we gamble 2.25 health or do we chop off our balls? No, because 2.25 health is the equivalent of getting something like the flu. Or more or less severely injured. Would we trade our dicker and balls for that? Absolutely not. We're going to say I feel amazing. And we are going to weather the rabies storm. Will he survive? Oh my god, we're getting something else wrong with us. No! Okay. Whenever I talk to women, they tell me they are bothered by my missing eye. How dare you? How the fuck, how dare you? We are emulating Odin. If they can't stand my flaws, they don't deserve me. We're proud. We wouldn't give a shit about them. Cancer! What is happening? The life expectancy of this dynasty is going to drop significantly. Good symptom treatment. Thank you. There's an extra health. An irritation. We begin to cough. Oh my god. Okay, here we go. A peasant in Dying Eastland got lost recently while trekking near the wilderness. They came across a flat vertical stone surface where the ancient ruins of a region carved various images and inscriptions. She reported it to local officials and you sent people to investigate. Appears the stone is the last remnant of an imposing ancient monument. The stone can't be reused, so it must stand where it is. Quite a sight to behold. The place is a holy antiquity. Build an altar near it, or send a few antiquarians to study it. Piety, cultural technology. Of course, we're going to send people to study it. Now he thinks we've got smallpox. You son of a bitch. What? Are we going to survive rabies? You've got chest pains. Is this tuberculosis? This has got to be tuberculosis, right? Consumption, I should say. Ah, wealthy globalist looking to escape the consequences of several indiscretions. Brilliant. Make the arrangements. We've got consumption just as it disappeared from our capital. Consumption and rabies. I don't think even our guy is strong enough to face that. Okay. Well, here goes nothing. The spice must flow. Thank you. A wonderful idea. My life is in your hands. Oh, no. He can cure us, but the only solution again is eunuch and one-legged. Or we just have to say I feel amazing. Fuck. What? How long does that last for? That lasts for 2 years. But the consumption is adding on another +2. So what are we on? 4.25. We can survive that. I believe in him. You can survive it, Yuning. Can we upgrade our bathhouse? We need a big mayor's office. That needs a town. For the town, we need city construction, regular construction, popular customs. We're nowhere near that. We can get construction level 3. That's good enough, I suppose, for now. Okay, can we build something in that? What about... I forgot about the house. Does this not give a health bonus? Intrigue. Learning. Nothing there. Nothing there. Dungeon complex. Nothing. Hedge maze. Nothing. Ministry office. Nothing. Arsenal. Nothing. 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 None of these give a health bonus. What the fuck else can we do? Oh my god. I think I've done everything I can. Let me think. There's got to be something else. Worship the ancestors. Ask for health. Long life and give me health. Ancestors. Please. Please, for God's sake. Resist evil. We'll resist evil in a minute. I'm already resisting enough evil. We want to give them... We can't take severely injured to try and give us more health. May this feast please you. It's a feast with 1,500 gold. Shit. Please, bestow your blessing, ancestors. Live. You will live. We've got to get a character that lives longer than fucking 40. This is killing me. This is seriously... This is my heart level. My heart level. Africa ravaged by the plague. Hello. Oh. Raffen, what a great ring you have. I think you're alright. He wants to buy a city. Nope, fuck off. Get out of here. I'm not interested. I saw a crab in the mud the other day. Horrible creatures. I avoid them whenever I can. I have thought mud crabs more fearsome than you. Buy a toy. Okay, come on, please. Live. I cannot. My heart rate. I should have worn my Apple-branded watch. She's dying of the fucking plague. Shuzu, my daughter, she's gone. Yun Yang died of the plague. A hermit has lived in the wilderness, and he is dead. Great. I'm sorry, I'm not reading the events when we are. For the Thunderer, fuck off. What's the Thunderer ever done for me? Yeah, brilliant. Over credits of mine, something. We don't care. How can you be still alive? Either cure or die. Maybe we prepare for the worst. I mean, we are prepared for the worst. This guy is our best successor. This might be the first time this entire campaign where we lose our immediate... Hold a blue. Maybe the gods can help us there. Great. A massive recruitment drive. Now for the human sacrifice. String them up. Let the celebrations begin. Bless me. Until next time. Thank you. Good. Okay, come on. This is ridiculous. He's like fucking Deadpool or something. The diseases are fighting one another in his body and he's become more powerful from it. He's immune to rabies because of the consumption. Just live. Choose to live, damn it. How long can we keep this going for? I refuse to end this episode until we know whether or not he's going to live. I don't want to load in tomorrow and have him immediately drop down dead. I think he's unkillable. Who do you want to marry, my courtier? I don't give a shit. We've got so much bigger problems right now. Like, Chancellor performs statecraft, for God's sake. Honestly, the tension right now is just horrific. Begita, help me, but beg me to come as successful as me. Begita, don't come too close. New Roman law, great. This is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like this. Oh my god. Okay, it's worn off. It's worn off. We need to speak to our court physician again. Okay. My life is in your hands. No! No! He's cured us. But we've paid the heaviest price. We've paid it. Eunuch. And we're severely injured, so we could still die. Probably not. It's only -2 health. With all of our bonuses, we'll probably be okay. Bearing in mind, again, that gives +1. The Panacea gives 0.5. It's barely anything. That's it. No more children for Yuning. Shit. Well, back to rulership, I suppose. There's no point being on family focus. Fertility 25%. Yeah, I'm sure that'll put a dent in it. So there is one legitimate son. Frederick. A child that we have ignored because of his idiocy. He is but a shadow compared to our current character. But maybe this is where the family focus really comes into play. Maybe it didn't lead to getting a new child, a new son. But maybe, because of his family focus, he read a story. A story, my friends, of a man named Slurvar. Slurvar the First, who not only was slow, but led our dynasty to greatness. And he was a competent ruler. He wasn't our greatest character, but he was a man. He was a man who led this dynasty. Maybe because of the family focus, we didn't get that son, but maybe we can learn to love the son we've got. That's fucking poetic. And there goes the end of any child chances. I suppose on the plus side, we can lead our fucking troops again. And if we make one of those Chinese commanders, the ones with the wear the leopard, our marshal, we get them organized in the army, they can... it's 28% chance there to improve our other commanders with that trait. They can spread it through our realm. So in the future, we might not need to recruit another... you know, any more people from China. We just might be able to keep it going in our realm. Eventually we'll lose it, of course, but if we're careful, we can keep it going for a long-ass time. I'm in awe. I really am in awe. That's crazy. Thank you for watching. We killed Cthulhu. We've joined the Dragon Society. We started to get our revenge on France, but the plague did a better job ever than we could. And finally, can we build our... how much does it cost again? We still can't quite build it. We will crack it. You know what? We can. We do that. I refuse to... let's just borrow a little money now. And let's build it. Right here and right now. The Grand Library. Boom. We can pay that debt off in seconds. The second Europe gets money back. And starts recovering. And that's it. The end of the line. Tomorrow, he's got nothing else to distract him. We've become a dragon. Hopefully. I've made it quite difficult now. We see what the Dragonkin Society has an offer for us. And then we get revenge. See you all then.